Everyone. Welcome back to my channel, Queen Bee SP, for another chapter of my book, Scientology Abuse at the Top. The last chapter we did was about the LSD purification program pilot and how that was used as torture. Yeah, with 8 months on that program straight at 5,000 niacin, drinking oil, drinking uh, big vats of cal what I call cow gag, calcium and magnesium drink with vinegar, and mountains of vitamins that I gagged down my throat, all to handle heavy drug cases, and I wasn't even a heavy druggie. Anyway, so now we're going on to the next chapter, which is chapter 13. And this one is about the running program, another form of torture that Dave used on his beloved executives. All right, so let's get this one on here. Chapter 13, the running program. It was midsummer of 2003, and the summer heat was intense. To say the least, we're in the middle of the desert in Gilman Hot Springs, and the only green patches are where we had the sprinklers going. But yeah, so it got really hot there. I was assigned to work on the construction of the crew berthing buildings while waiting for the result of my fitness board. Yes, hoping to be offloaded from that base, that's for sure. From the room I was in, I could see out across the pasture to where approximately 40 Int Base staff members were running around a tall pole in the middle of a track. Well, it wasn't actually a pole, it was a palm tree used as a pole. And I'll show you a picture of that because the running program advices talk about running around a pole. And the track that was made at the Int Base for this was a tall palm tree, so I guess that it didn't look so weird. Still looked weird. This is where the running program is done by Int Base personnel. LRH devised a rundown intended to bring a being up to cause, able to causatively control one's life, called the Cause Resurgence Rundown or Running Program. This program required that a person run for extended periods of time around a pole or tree until they came to the realization that they were at cause. We'll see what I say about it because I have a lot to say about it. Many people at the Int Base have done this rundown, including myself. It takes some people many, many weeks to reach the end phenomena, while others may reach it in just a matter of days. One is meant to build up to running 5 hours per day with minimal breaks while concentrating on the pole or tree as a fixed, stable point. It is a muzzled rundown, meaning you don't talk to anyone while you're on it. Like I casually just said, you build up to running for 5 hours, okay? Is that normal? It's a torture chamber, that place. Oh, man. It's just I wrote this so matter-of-factly, and it's just ridiculous. Look how ridiculous that is. Anyway, I was put on this program originally in 1987 by an executive in RTC who thought I needed to get better at listening to and complying with senior orders. That was Hans-Uli Stahli, a Swiss-German guy who was really, you know, someone who did all the nasty stuff. When a lot of people left the Sea organization, he went around with some other people to get people back into compliance with um, not speaking out, not connecting with people who weren't in good standing and all this kind of stuff. He is like kind of a hitman type of guy for Scientology, David Miscavige. I didn't like him. I did the program in the middle of summer in the heat of the afternoon. The second I could get off the track, I'd head straight for the water hose and just hold it over my head until the running program supervisor ordered me to return to the track. I'd also lay under the sprinklers on a lawn chair to try to cool down and rest for a few minutes before continuing to run. I became very sunburned. After 10 days of this, I just wanted off the program, so I wrote a note to the case supervisor exclaiming that I realized I was at cause and had such a huge change of viewpoint. In reality, I didn't want to go through 5 hours of torture every day any longer. Based on my quote unquote realizations, I was allowed off the program. Woohoo! I thought maybe I was cheating myself out of some legitimate gains I could have had if I remained on the rundown. But after 10 days, the only thing that changed was my determination not to tolerate this thing any longer. Yeah, you should have seen the tan that I had. Like I had these socks on that went around my ankles and shorts and a tank top. And the line from the socks continued to show up for, like, almost a year afterwards because the difference between my feet and my legs from so much sun, 5 hours a day, didn't take much out there. In 2002, Miscavige had all of WDC, the Watchdog Committee, the Executive Stratus staff, plus several other executives in CMO Int, Commodore's Messenger org, report out to the running program track. We were told that we were all to run around this huge palm tree until we had some sort of group realization as to why we were all such incompetent criminals. Miscavige was constantly berating us, calling us names, sentencing us to weird assignments, and this was no exception. Greg Wilhair, I'll show you a picture of his mug, was sent down as the enforcer from RTC. Greg Wilhair was always David Miscavige's enforcer. We had to get on the track as is. Most of us in uniform, wool pants, hard leather shoes, etc. And we were ordered to start running. At first, no one was talking to each other. We were just walking, running around the tree, knowing it's supposed to be a muzzled rundown. Everyone looked so stolid and unhappy. There wasn't a single soul that really wanted to be there. Of course not. Then Wilhair pointed out that if we ever wanted to get off the track, we had better start talking to each other about why we were so messed up. A group of us came up with some sort of answer, and we went around telling the others what our quote unquote realization was, so as to gain the agreement that we were ready to be let off the track. However, one person named Jonathan, a very good friend of mine, now also out of the Sea Org, totally refused to cooperate. This is Jonathan Horwich. I wish he would speak out. He was L. Ron Hubbard's son-in-law because he was married to Diana Hubbard. He said he realized absolutely nothing while running around the tree, and the whole thing we were being put through was bullshit. It's like, this is someone who I've always known to frankly speak his mind. He was often in trouble because of it too, though I felt there was some leniency with him as he was the father of LRH's granddaughter, Roanne, and he had been in the Sea Organization nearly since its inception. So we were told we'd have to stay on the track until we all could come to an agreed upon realization. What is this? You know, get me out of here. It's ridiculous. After some hours, this abruptly ended when we were ordered to report to the music studio. Hallelujah. Miscavige was there and briefed us on what screw ups the musicians were on something that he now had to handle directly. I thought, who cares? You think everyone is a screw up and that you're the only one in the universe capable of getting a real product. I'm sick of hearing about it. However, I am glad to be off that damn running track right now. Now, again, I saw Miscavige was assigning scores of people to the running program. The difference this time, however, was that someone was being pushed around the track in a wheelchair. I discovered that it was a woman named Debbie, who is a type 1 insulin dependent diabetic. She should have never been on the running track in the first place, but was made to get out there and literally run with the rest of the executives. She apparently had an hypoglycemic attack while doing so, and the quote unquote handling was to give her a shot of insulin and put her back out there with the rest of the group, this time in a wheelchair, to continue with their punishment. The abuse was getting beyond the slugging, name calling, sleep deprivation, isolation, and splitting up of families. It was borderline torture and criminal neglect, which could have very disastrous consequences. You know, Scientology is so dangerous. They're dangerous. That again is medical malpractice, mind you, David Miscavige. Finally, my fitness board was completed and issued, finding me unfit for CMO International. The issue offloaded me to the Rehabilitation Project Force in Clearwater, Florida, and I arrived on 17 July 2003. Yes, yes, I did. I arrived to the Rehabilitation Project Force for the fourth time in my checkered career, as Scientology likes to call it, my checkered career. Um, but boy, was I happy to be off that property. Anyway, the next chapter, let me see what it's called. We're getting close to the end of my book now. The next chapter is the final trip to the Rehabilitation Project Force. And so then the final chapter is going to be breaking out of Scientology's grip. So we're coming down the home stretch here. Breaking out of Scientology's grip, whoa, that's going to be a fun one. And uh, that was freedom. Anyway, we've got an RPF assignment to get through first. That's my next chapter. Well, thank you so much for watching. And if you found this video informative, please give it a like. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe and we'll continue the expose of Scientology. All right, until next time. Bye.